The 11th of October 2018 T 14 hours 27 minutes and 45 seconds, 896Z John Major's attack on universal credit shows how far the Tories have moved from compassionate conservatism, writes Hannah Fearn, the Indys co-comment editor. Read her piece about the Universal Credit Row, and what it says about the soul of the party. The 11th of October 2018 T 14 hours 1 minute and 12 seconds. 000Z HMRC boss Jon Thompson has received death threats after estimating that the Brexiteers' favoured customs model could cost £20 billion. According to The Guardian, he told an Institute for Government event, "We have had to literally change how I travel and what my personal security is. We have had 2 death threats investigated by the Metropolitan Police for speaking truth unto power about Brexit. Those are real situations. I'm still not going to back away from telling the truth. If I think something's not going to work, it's incumbent on me. We live in a democracy, so in the end, it's for governments to decide, ministers to decide what they want to implement. But our role as civil servants is to act with integrity and to give them our best advice." Here's our story on his comments back in May, the 11th of October 2018 T 13 hours 43 minutes and 44 seconds. 000Z Hannah Deacon, mother of Alfie Dingley, a child who needs medical cannabis to treat his epilepsy, said it was a momentous day. "We urge the medical world to get behind these reforms so they can help the tens of thousands of people who are in urgent need of help," she said. "I have personally seen how my son's life has changed due to the medical cannabis he is now prescribed. As a family we were facing his death. Now we are facing his life, full of joy and hope, which is something I wish for each and every person in this country who could benefit from this medicine." The 11th of October 2018 T 13 hours 33 minutes and 10 seconds, 266Z breaking story here. The surcharge for migrants to use the NHS will double to £400, the government has announced. The 11th of October 2018 T 13 hours 25 minutes and 37 seconds, 250Z more Tory anger over universal credit, this time from prominent backbencher Johnny Mercer. The 11th of October 2018 T 13 hours 13 minutes and 43 seconds, 260Z doctors will be able to prescribe cannabis products to patients from November 1st, Sajid Javid has announced. The new rules apply to England, Wales and Scotland, and follow several high-profile cases, including that of young epilepsy sufferers Alfie Dingley and Billy Caldwell, whose conditions appeared to be helped by cannabis oil. The 11th of October 2018 T 12 hours 47 minutes and 52 seconds. 000Z Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn is in Bristol today, where he will unveil plans to boost teaching of colonialism and the slave trade for children. Here's a preview of his speech, the 11th of October 2018 T 12 hours 30 minutes and 52 seconds. 000Z The Press Association has filed a helpful Q. UC replaces 6 existing benefits: income support, income-based job seekers allowance, income-related employment and support allowance, housing benefit, working tax credit and child tax credit, with a single payment. When is it being introduced? UC is being rolled out gradually across the country, starting in pilot areas in 2013. So far, only new benefit claimants have been put onto the system. But from July 2019, around 2 million people already receiving the old benefits will be moved on to UC, in a managed migration which is not due for completion until 2023. Who will be affected? Among those being moved to UC will be about 1 million working families and 745,000 people unable to work because of long-term illness or disability. Will anyone lose out? The government has provided a pot of money for transitional protection, which ministers say will ensure that no existing claimants suffer a cut to payments in cash terms unless their circumstances have changed. Will there be a wait for payments? UC is paid in arrears, and the first payment is not made until at least 5 weeks after a claim is lodged. Claimants can apply for advance payments to avoid hardship while they wait. Why is UC being introduced? Ministers say that the new system is simpler and easier to understand than the old benefits. They believe it creates incentives for claimants to take on temporary work or increase hours. Work and Pensions Secretary Esther McVey says that when UC is fully rolled out, it will deliver £8 billion of benefits to the UK economy per year. The 11th of October 2018 T12 hours 10 minutes and 24 seconds. 020Z Esther McVey also failed to back the Prime Minister's Chequers plan, which is unpopular among Brexiteers. She told the BBC, "I am completely supportive of the Prime Minister, as she well knows. What I want to do for you now is speculate into what is going on." Asked repeatedly about the plan, she repeated her support of the PM to get the best deal for the UK. The 11th of October 2018 T12 hours 2 minutes and 32 seconds, 803Z Esther McVey, the Work and Pensions Secretary, has defended universal credit reforms after warnings from former Tory PM Sir John Major that it would be as damaging to the government as the poll tax was brought in under Margaret Thatcher. Ms. McVey told the BBC she knew more about universal credit than Sir John, and insisted it was working much better than the old system for the vast majority. She admits some people could be worse off on this benefit, but 1,000 people each day since 2010 have gone into work. Asked to confirm reports that she told Cabinet that people could be £2,400 worse off, Ms. McVey said she wouldn't comment on Cabinet discussions. Tough decisions have been made, she said. The 11th of October 2018 T11 hours 39 minutes and 33 seconds, 163Z. A hard Brexit could cut the UK's trade with the European Union in half, a new study has found. Economists from the German Economic Institute in Cologne say that if the UK crashes out of the single market and customs union with no deal next March and is forced to rely on bare World Trade Organization rules, then exports and imports would be significantly disrupted by tariffs and also new regulatory barriers. More here from our economics editor Ben Chu. The 11th of October 2018 T11 hours 18 minutes and 34 seconds. 000Z ministers have been accused of sneaking out plans to sell almost £4 billion of the student loan book. Shadow Education Secretary Angela Rayner called on the government to justify the proposal, as she warned that the last student loan book sale led to losses of £900 million. But Universities Minister Sam Gyimah denied sneaking out the plans, saying the announcement was made in a written ministerial statement, as he defended the move as good for the taxpayer. In a written ministerial statement published on Wednesday, Mr. Gyimah announced the government's intention to process plans to sell part of the English student loan book. The 11th of October 2018 T10 hours 52 minutes and 53 seconds, 270Z. My colleague Ashley Calburn has been to the regular lobby briefing, where Downing Street sought to downplay the importance of the meeting. The PM spokesman said, "There is no cabinet meeting, there is no cabinet subcommittee meeting. There have been a series of meetings in recent weeks where ministers have just received updates on the state of the negotiations. They are a relatively regular thing, given it's now a full meeting. I do not have a cast list. The cast list has varied. There have been a number of meetings. There was one on Tuesday too, just to provide an update on the negotiations." The 11th of October 2018 T10 hours 42 minutes and 34 seconds, 516Z. Interesting from the Business Question today. Commons leader won't expand on business beyond this week, as a week changes a lot. The 11th of October 2018 T10 hours 32 minutes and 26 seconds, 746Z. Andrea Leadsom has announced there will be an Opposition Day debate on universal credit on Wednesday. This clearly becoming a problem for the government, as Ian Duncan Smith, the architect of the policy, and ex-PM Sir John Major have both spoken out about it today. The 11th of October 2018 T10 hours 14 minutes and 51 seconds, 643Z. Transport Secretary Chris Grayling has offered a categorical assurance that planes will not be grounded after Brexit. Despite warning from Whitehall in the last few weeks about disruption to passengers in the event of a no-deal, Mr. Grayling said critics had got this completely wrong and planes would still take off after Brexit. He said, "There is nothing the government has said or done to imply that planes will be grounded or there will be no flights after we leave the EU. I give this House categorical assurance flights are going to continue." The 11th of October 2018 T 9 hours 54 minutes and 7 seconds. 000Z. The Education Secretary is expected to brand Labour's plan to impose a common rule book on all schools as dangerous control freakery. Damian Hinds was also due to call on Jeremy Corbyn to leave our children alone when he speaks at the launch of the Confederation of School Trusts as the British Library in London, on Thursday. At the Labour Party conference last month, Shadow Education Secretary Angela Rayner announced plans to impose a new rulebook on schools, scrap the Free Schools programme and end academisation. Mr. Hinds was due to say, Labour saw the evidence. They had a choice between what is working for children and what left-wing dogma says. They have made their choice. For them, ideology comes before children's education. He was due to add, Angela Rayner may call it local democratic control. I call it not trusting schools. Why do Labour want to put politicians in charge of schools? It's because they don't trust head teachers. Ms. Rayner accused Mr. Hinds of resorting to absurd claims. She said, when ministers have more to say about the opposition's policies than their own, it is clear that they've run out of ideas. The Tories' figures on education spending and standards have unraveled day by day, and these wild distortions of Labour policies are just another chapter in the same book of fiction. Parents, teachers and communities know that it is the Conservatives who have put ideology first and children second by slashing school budgets for the first time in a generation. The 11th of October 2018 T 9 hours 34 minutes and 25 seconds, 363Z. Sir John Major said the treatment the PM was receiving at the hands of some in her party was worse than he had suffered when he called some in his party bastards. He told the BBC's Political Thinking podcast, I have great sympathy for her plight and I think the way she is being treated by some of her colleagues is absolutely outrageous. Sir John said he supported Ms May as PM, although he was at odds with some of her approach to Europe. He said, people in Parliament who are undermining the Prime Minister by wandering round saying we are going to have 40-odd signatures for a leadership election tomorrow, saying unless the Prime Minister does this thing or that thing, we are going to vote against it. That's an intolerable way to treat a Prime Minister who is in the middle of negotiations. Asked about the bastards from his era, he replied, their behaviour was pretty intolerable, but not nearly as intolerable as the way the present Prime Minister is being treated.